Welcome back to Global Village. I'm your host, Buddy Kunanan. Tonight's topic is Amazing Austria, Part 2. And we've said auf Wiedersehen to Dr. Christian Trauweger, Honorary Consul of Philippines in Tyrol, Austria. Joining us is another man with a lot of good ties to the Philippines for a very, very long time, Mr. Helmut Geisberger. And he is the Vice President of the Johann Strauss Society.
That's right.
Welcome, Helmut, to
Thank you.
Global Village.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and you know, it's such a nice topic because Austria really is indeed one of my favorite countries in the world. It's a small country, as Christian mentioned earlier in the first segment, but it is so endowed with so many, with rich culture and heritage.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Such a beautiful country. I cannot think of any other country, to be frank, that has so much in such a small space.
Yes, that's very true.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people misunderstand that because when they go to Europe, some people do not go to Austria, but Austria, in terms of history, has more than any other country, I think, in Europe.
Absolutely.
And that's also one of the culture of Austria is not only Austrian, you know, during the Habsburg Empire. And if you calculate this all together, there is so much European history in there. And that's what, for instance, we are right now in Austria very concerned that we keep this culture and it's not going to get diluted by all this what is going on right now.
Yes, yes. No, absolutely, because, you know, I mean, Austria today is very small, but it used to be the center of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was the biggest empire in Europe at one time.
It used to be, one could say, the leading empire in Europe.
Absolutely. Yes, spanning many lands, many countries, many races, many languages, from west to east.
If you look at the different courts in the different countries, there's always somewhere Habsburg, which is an Austrian.
Bravo, bravo. Now, Helmut, let's talk about your connection with the Philippines. I understand that, and I mentioned earlier, that you've been here for a very long time.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about the background of your relationship with the Philippines. How did this start? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I left Austria when I was 19, and I went to hotel school in Lausanne in Switzerland. And right after this, I came the first time to the Philippines in 1972. I arrived here, and I felt immediately comfortable, I think for many reasons. First of all, I think we have something very much in common with the Philippines, the Austrians. We love music. And we love fun, we love loving and parties, fiestas, and so on. So I felt very much at home right from the beginning. And, well, it turned out that maybe just a short interesting story which is very funny. I was working after hotel school, actually my first hotel, I was working at the Kempinski in Berlin. And at that time, there was a Filipino festival coming to Europe in different cities. At the time with Laila Benitez, maybe if you remember. And this was a Filipino and fashion show and so on. And you know, they had all these girls like Lotte Ski, Nelia Sancho, Gloria Diaz, and so on.
Yeah,
and I never at the time, I have never left Europe at the time before. You know, I was there with my open mouth, and I said, my God.
With these exotic lovelies all around.
Yeah, so, and I was in charge, because I was assistant manager, I was in charge of this group. We did the daily schedules and so on. And Laila asked me, she says, look, you're very young, you just got out of hotel school, what are you going to do with your life? And I said, you know, Laila, looking at your girls, I asked myself, what am I doing in Europe? And she was laughing and laughing. I said, give me your CV. And 2 weeks later, I had an offer to come to the Philippines.
Wow! So just because of the chance encounter in the Kempinski in Berlin, and that led
because of the beautiful
beautiful Filipinas. Bravo, bravo! And you've been here. You arrived in which year?
72.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was at the Intercont at the time.
Okay.
And we did, I was assistant food and beverage manager. We did quite a lot of caterings in Malacanang at the time.
Yes. And aside from Intercon, which has just been, I mean, it no longer exists. I mean, the
No.
iconic building has been demolished to
Yeah.
be replaced with something else. And now, I understand you were also with another hotel that is now no longer there, but it's
Yeah.
going to be it's
Yeah.
going to be resurrected in
Not
another
only-
location.
Not only one. I mean, I used to at the time also work at the Central Park Sheraton. And after this, I mean, I was in and out, you know, in the hotel business, you get moved around. And I was for the last 15 years before I got retired, I was with the Mandarin, I was general manager of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And we had a lot of cultural events there.
Okay, talking about cultural events, you are the vice president of the Johann Strauss Society,
Yes.
and you know Johann Strauss, a giant really in the world of classical music, and I think that if there's one, I mean, if there's someone who really embodies what Viennese music is, and you know the waltzes and all that, it really is Johann Strauss.
Is Johann Strauss,
That's it.
without
no?
any question.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
tell us a bit about this society.
Okay, well, the Johann Strauss Society, I was not with them right from the beginning. Actually, it started with Kay Shearson, which was the wife of the foreign minister at the time, and Olga Martel, Fortune Ledesma, and several others. They started the society. However, in 1988, I did already an opera ball in the Central Park Sheraton Hotel, very successfully, with exactly the same concept as the Opera Ball in Vienna, and it was very successful.
Wow. Okay.
And at that time, Kay Shearson asked me to join the society because of all these things, my connections in Austria and you know, my knowledge of Austrian culture and so on. So this is what I did, and since this time, I'm really with the society.
So it was because of you that this yearly big event, this
No,
Johann
I wouldn't
Strauss
say it's because
ball.
of me, but obviously I have a lot of background in
Yes.
this, and I know a lot of quite a few people in Austria which can help to bring cultural events.
Yes,
here.
but you started it, as you said. You started it in
The Opera Ball
the
was
Opera Ball.
started by me, yeah.
You know, it's really, if there's one thing that really I think is an example, a good example of Viennese culture and Austrian culture. It really is this whole the pomp and the pageantry of having this ball that
Yes.
the Johann Strauss Society
Yes.
has every year.
Yes. Well, we have different things, not only the Opera Ball,
Yeah.
you know. We also made the Viennese New Year's concert. You know, every year there's in 1st of January, there's in Vienna the New Year's concert, which is shown all over the world.
Yes.
We also had this here. So we did 1 year the Opera Ball, 1 year the New Year's concert. And lately, we are doing all kinds of different concerts. We have, for instance, on the 25th of April this year, we have a concert coming up where we have half-half. We go, the first half, we go on Italian romantic opera.
Wow.
And the second half is Johann Strauss. You know, only Johann Strauss is nice, but you have to also, Austria never was like this, that you only had Austrian music. There was always a very big influence, especially from Italy, from Italian.
Absolutely. And I think this really points to the history of Austria, that
Yes.
it really was at the center of
Yes.
of this big empire, basically,
Yes.
that spans so many peoples, and that all contributed to everything: the cuisine,
Oh,
the
yeah.
music,
There is hardly, I would say, there's hardly any true Austrian in Austria. I myself, I have some Hungarian blood, I have some French blood, you know, so Austria always was a very international, welcoming country.
Absolutely, and occasionally, you have a group of ambassadors, that I call them ambassadors of Austria, the Vienna Boys Choir. Occasionally, they
Yeah.
do visit the Philippines.
I
and
brought
it's
the
a treat.
Vienna Boys Choir twice to Manila.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's such a treat, it's such a joy to listen to this choir, to
Oh, yeah.
watch them.
Yeah.
And,
We also brought some operas in. I had Figaro, We brought Figaro in, all kinds of different things. Everything which has something to do with Austrian culture.
So for this year, we're looking at April. You said that there's this big event. Maybe before we end our segment, you can tell the audience exactly how to get tickets or information to this fantastic Italian romantic opera and Johann Strauss together. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong?
Well, it's at the New World Hotel on the 25th, and you can get also tickets there. And if you need any help or whatever, you always can call me, 0917-537-1888. I will be able to help you or get you some tickets. But it's a gala event, you know. And I think in this kind of classical events or so, the ladies always like to dress up, you know. They're always coming long gown, the guys
so it's a very formal dressed up event.
It's a formal thing, and I think once in a while it's nice to dress up and
for sure,
to show the world that the old world had something very beautiful to offer, and not only blue jeans nowadays.
And you know, as you said, this is essentially showcasing Austrian culture, and Viennese culture was very much into that. You know, just you know, as I said, the pomp and the pageantry that went with that environment of that time, of the Habsburgs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, this is
We
royalty.
did not only the classical, but we also, in the last couple of years, together with Dr. Travega, Professor Travega, and Rudi Kubis, which you will see later, we also organized some hiring events. And this was only between the three of us. And it was very successful, you know. We had quite a few people, and a Heuriger, I would say, is something what you would call in the Philippines a fiesta.
A fiesta.
A fiesta in a village.
Yeah.
You know?
So complete with wine, with
song,
food,
camaraderie, and simply feeling good.
Bravo, bravo. Well, between you, Christian, and Rudy, I think you guys are probably among the most active in promoting Austrian culture here in the Philippines. So thank you very much.
We are probably the only ones.
But thank you so much, because you know it's because of you, gentlemen, and of course your companions in the Johann Strauss Society and similar organizations helping out, that Filipinos around, you know, in this country and can somehow, you know, savor and enjoy, you know, this rich cultural heritage that you guys in Austria have.
I think so. And also we shouldn't forget that, you know, actually we have in Austria quite a lot of Filipinos.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And whenever I go back to Austria, always, of course, because my wife is Filipina also, so we have some Filipino friends there. They feel very comfortable in Austria. As I said, you know, I think from a cultural point of view, that we have a lot in common.
Very good, you know? Very good. And speaking about Heuriger and all that, in a few moments we'll have your colleague Rudy and a very, very beautiful accompanying singer, direct from Austria, courtesy of Christian Trauweger. And we're going to show Filipinos what it is to really have a very nice Heuriger here on Global Village.
I hope we can compete with the Filipinas.
I'm sure you can. So guys, stick around, because more of amazing Austria, and now coming soon, wine and song when Global Village returns.